Kling makes some of the best AI video out there, so why are so many people actively searching for ways to leave it? I went through 8 real alternatives: Runway, Veo, Pika, Luma, Cdance, LTX 2.5, Minimax H3, and Pixverse, scored each one against what Kling actually delivers, and one result genuinely caught me off guard. Kling is a closed, credit-based tool with a 1.3-star Trustpilot rating, and these 8 alternatives each promise to fix a different piece of that problem. Let's find out which ones actually do. Alternative 1. Runway. Kling's Pro tier runs $37 a month, and if you cancel, users report being charged anyway, with credits that expire in 30 days, whether you use them or not. That billing situation has pushed people to look for a cleaner way to access the same quality output, and Runway is the most direct answer to that, because it actually hosts Kling 3.0 itself. I looked at the independent benchmarks, and Kling 3.0 ranked number 1 in the 1080p Pro category on artificial analysis, ahead of Grok Imagine and Pixverse v5.6. Runway is simply the platform that hosts that exact model, with native audio, start and end frame control, and multi-shot sequences, and its billing reputation has none of the systemic charge after cancellation complaints Kling carries. Now, the caveat here is that Runway's pricing is tiered, and you're still paying for access to Kling's model, so it's not a free escape. The billing transparency is a known quantity on Runway's side, though, and the output quality is literally the same model. So if your problem with Kling is the billing and not the video, Runway is the cleanest fix on this list. Runway takes this one, and it's pretty straightforward why. You're getting Kling's number 1 ranked 1080p Pro output through a platform that won't surprise charge you after you cancel. That puts Kling at 1 win, Runway at 0 on the scoreboard, but Runway is the recommended escape route for most people leaving Kling's billing nightmare. I've spent enough time getting surprise billed by AI video tools to know exactly where the traps are, so drop a comment if Kling's credits have ever expired on you before you got to use them. Alternative 2. Google Veo 3.1. You're paying for 4K output from Kling and running into prompt adherence issues, which is exactly the complaint driving people toward Veo. Veo 3.1 is the benchmark Kling literally positions itself against, so this is the most direct quality comparison on the list. And the ecosystem difference is where things get genuinely interesting. So both Veo 3.1 and Kling 3.0 deliver native 4K with multilingual audio, meaning output capability is close, but Veo's per-token pricing on Vertex AI is more predictable for heavy users than Kling's credit system, and Veo plugs straight into Google AI Studio and Vertex for teams already on Google Cloud, which is a real workflow advantage Kling can't match. The output gap between Veo 3.1 and Kling 3.0 is genuinely small. Community testing scores Kling at 8.26 out of 10 and Veo at 8.5, so the quality difference is pretty marginal. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. If you're on Google Cloud already, though, Veo's ecosystem fit is a decisive edge, and the predictable per-token billing removes the credit expiry anxiety that drives most people away from Kling in the first place. Veo 3.1 takes this one on ecosystem fit and pricing clarity, even though the raw quality gap is only about 0.2 points. That's Kling up 2-0 on the overall scoreboard. But Veo is the right call if Google Cloud is already your home and you want native 4K without Kling's credit games. Alternative 3. Pika. One of the top complaints about Kling is character consistency. Your character looks different shot to shot, and you're burning credits regenerating clips just to get a stable face. Pika addresses that directly with 15-second clips and character consistency that the community consistently rates above Kling 3.0, even after Kling improved it through their Elements feature. I ran this twice because I expected Kling 3.0's Elements update to close the gap more than it did. Pika delivers stable character consistency across 15-second clips, and community reports still favor it over Kling for this specific job. Even though Kling's max clip length matches Pika's at 15 seconds and supports 30 and 60 FPS options Pika doesn't specifically advertise. Clip length is a wash here, both tools top out at 15 seconds, so that's not the deciding factor. The deciding factor is that if your workflow depends on a character looking the same across 10 different clips, Pika is the more reliable pick, and it's priced competitively against Kling's Pro tier, so you're not paying a premium for that consistency. Pika takes this one on character consistency, which is the exact pain point that sends people searching for Kling alternatives in the first place. Kling's at 3 wins to 0 on the running tally, but Pika is the right pick if consistent characters across multiple clips is your actual job. Alternative 4, Luma. You've probably hit this scenario. You generate a 15-second clip on Kling, the character drifts halfway through, and you've already spent the credits. Luma is the tool people point to when they want predictable output without that anxiety, and its billing reputation is clean in a way Kling's 1.3-star Trustpilot score simply is not. What got me here is how closely Luma mirrors Pika's strengths. 15-second clips, stable character consistency across shots, and a billing setup that doesn't generate charge after cancellation. Complaints. Kling 3.0 improved character consistency through its Elements feature, but community reports still call Luma the more dependable workhorse for creators who need repeatable results without surprises. Luma and Pika are genuinely similar in what they fix about Kling, so the choice between them is mostly a workflow feel thing. Luma's edge is its reputation as the reliable option for creators who just want consistent output every single time, and it's priced competitively against Kling's Pro tier, so you're not giving up cost savings to get that reliability. Luma takes this one on dependability and billing trust, for the same reason Pika did. Kling's consistency improvements haven't fully caught up to community expectations. Kling's now at 4 wins to 0 overall, but Luma is the pick if you want a workhorse that just delivers without the drama. Alternative 5, Seedance 2.0. The 8.26 out of 10 that Kling scores in independent community testing sounds good until you look at the prompt adherence complaints, where users say their prompts just don't land the way they expect. Seedance 2.0 is the tool those users are switching to, and the community reports are pretty direct about why. Better results for their specific workflows. I looked at the switching sentiment, and it's pretty clear. People who move to Seedance report better results for their specific workflows, and Seedance 2.0 matches Kling 3.0 on native 4K output and multilingual audio, so you're not sacrificing resolution to get better prompt adherence. The gap on raw benchmark scores is small, about 0.2 points, but the workflow satisfaction gap is real. The 4K output match makes this close on paper, but the switching sentiment is what moves the needle. Users who care about prompt adherence over raw benchmark scores are landing on Seedance and not coming back. And that's a meaningful signal, even if the independent benchmark gap between them is only about 0.2 points. Seedance wins on workflow, fit for that specific user. Seedance 2.0 takes this one on prompt adherence and user switching sentiment, which is a more honest signal than a 0.2 point benchmark gap. Kling's at 5 wins to 0 on the scoreboard, but Seedance is the pick if your specific workflow keeps producing results that don't match your prompts on Kling. Alternative 6, LTX 2.5, 6.8 seconds. That's how long LTX 2.5 takes to generate a 10-second clip on-prem, compared to Kling's 3 minutes for the same clip. If you're running any kind of batch workflow or iterating fast on prompts, that wait time on Kling is a real productivity killer, and LTX 2.5 is the open waits answer to it. LTX 2.5 generates a 10-second clip in 6.8 seconds on-prem, or 23.7 seconds via API, versus Kling's 3 minutes, and it's fully open waits, so you can self-host it. The trade-off is real though. Kling 3.0 scores 8.26 out of 10 in independent community testing, with strong visual fidelity at 8.44, and cinematic color grading that LTX 2.5, built for speed, doesn't match. Kling wins this one on cinematic quality, and it's not subtle, 8.26 out of 10, with strong visual fidelity versus LTX 2.5's speed-focused output. That's Kling at 5 wins, LTX 2.5 picking up its first point on the board for speed and open waits. A fair trade if you're a developer who needs to iterate fast and can live without the polish. So we've got 6 alternatives on the board, but Minimax H3 and Pixverse are still ahead, and Minimax in particular has a community verdict that could change how you think about Kling for animation work entirely. The animation test is up next, and if you do any character animation at all, the result is going to matter to you. Alternative 7, Minimax H3. You're an animator on Kling. You're hitting the closed API wall every time you want to customize your pipeline, and the output quality for animation specifically isn't matching the hype. Minimax H3 runs on open deployment through platforms like FAL'd.ai, supports source video editing and mixed multimodal references, and the community verdict on animation quality is unusually direct. The community quote here is pretty striking. Someone who switched to Minimax H3 for animation on FAL.ai called it a remarkable improvement, specifically crediting the new model launch. Minimax H3 also wins on deployment flexibility since Kling 3.0 Pro is a closed API, but Kling does beat Minimax on creative tooling with multi-shot, reusable elements, motion control, and native 4K roots. Minimax H3 takes this one for animators. Open deployment plus a community-verified animation edge is a combination. Kling's closed API can't answer right now. Kling's at 6 wins to 1 on the scoreboard, but if animation is your primary use case, Minimax H3 is the clearest switch on this entire list. Alternative 8, Pixverse V5.6. Kling's Pro tier runs $37 a month, and the question a lot of people ask is whether you actually need that level of output quality, or whether a cheaper tool gets you close enough. Pixverse is the budget-conscious answer to that question, and it's been cited frequently in community discussions as the value pick when Kling feels like overkill for the job. Watch what happens on the benchmarks. Kling 3.0 ranked number 1 in 1080p Pro on artificial analysis, ahead of Pixverse V5.6. Pixverse doesn't beat Kling on raw quality, but community reports consistently name it as a cheaper alternative that delivers solid results for workflows that don't need Kling's top-tier cinematic polish, and that's a real value proposition for budget-conscious creators. Pixverse takes this one on value for money, even though Kling wins the raw benchmark. That's Kling finishing at 7 wins to 1 across all 8 alternatives, but Pixverse earns its spot as the pick for creators who want good enough quality at a lower price point than Kling's Pro tier. Alright, so here's why people leave Kling. The billing is genuinely bad. A 1.3-star Trustpilot rating, driven by charge after cancellation complaints and credits that expire in 30 days. The pricing is high enough that users actively seek cheaper alternatives, even at a quality cost, and prompt adherence has been inconsistent compared to newer models like Seedance and Veo. Okay, so here's when Kling still wins. Kling 3.0 ranks number 1 in 1080p Pro on artificial analysis, beating Grok Imagine and Pixverse V5.6, and it scored 8.26 out of 10 in independent community testing, with visual fidelity at 8.44, and its creative toolkit, multi-shot, reusable elements, motion control, native 4K is richer than most alternatives on this list. If you want Kling's number 1 ranked 1080p Pro output without the billing nightmare, go to Runway. If you're an animator, switch to Minimax H3. If you need 4K inside Google Cloud, Veo 3.1 is your call. And if you need raw speed and open weights, LTX 2.5 at 6.8 seconds on-prem is unbeatable. The model quality is real, the billing is the problem, and every option on this list fixes a different piece of that. One thing that didn't come up in the benchmarks, Kling 3.0 Pro is not available in the US or Europe at all. So if you're in either region and you've been reading about Kling 3.0 Pro's native 4K output as a reason to stay, you may not even be able to access it, which makes Runway's hosted version of that same model the only realistic path to that output. If you're also thinking about image generation tools and want the same kind of ranked breakdown, I did a full video on the best mid-journey alternatives for designers, and the results there are just as interesting as what we found here. That video is right up next.